What's good, y'all? It's Classic MMA. Today I'll be going over the most underrated prospects in every UFC weight class. So, I thought, this is a boring fight week. We got Brandon Moreno versus Loner Kavanaugh. Who cares? So I decided I would, instead of doing like a fight breakdown, oh, gee wonders, I wonder who's going to win, Brandon Moreno or Loner Kavanaugh. I decided I would do something more fun and do like a prospects video. So that's for my real hardcores out there. If you know ball, you'll like this video. So let's get into it. Starting off with flyweight, we got Alden Correa. So this guy just competed this weekend. So he's Joshua Van's primary sparring partner, who is so far is 2-0 in the UFC with KO win over Alexandre Costa and a decision win over Luis Gruel. In his debut on short notice against Costa, who was on a 3-fight win streak, including I'm pretty sure all finishes too. Correa was able to absolutely style on Costa and to show him levels in the grappling and striking before getting a KO, which is very good against a borderline ranked dude in your debut. Then a couple days ago against Luis Gruel, put on a very smart technical performance and outboxing out grappling Gruel. Like that takedown that he got on Gruel was pretty nasty and just he looked really comfortable on the feet, on the ground, like just beating up Gruel. That one uppercut he landed in the first round too was nasty. Overall, I'd say look out for this kid. He's very skilled and has a high fight IQ and also has power behind his hands. I think Alden Correa is going to be pretty solid at flyweight. I imagine at the very least he'll be like top 10 level. He just seems to have very high fight IQ, very well rounded, so I'd look out for this kid. Moving on to bantamweight, we got Jakob Wiklax. So Wiklax is a former KSW champion who so far went 2-0 in the UFC with wins over Patchy Mix and Mean Gafarov. In the Patchy Mix fight, was able to show very solid kickboxing on the feet, and while didn't show the best takedown defense in the world, showed insane submission ability, jumping guillotines, and overall his activity winning him the decision against Mix, who's pretty good. Like we love to make fun of Patchy Mix, but that one honestly isn't that bad. Former champs in other promotions, and Wiklax was able to get the win over him. And in the Mean Gafarov fight, showed very nice kickboxing ability on the feet early in the fight, and grappling ability, putting Gafarov in full mount in the second round. And then in the third round, when Gaston looked like he was about to lose the fight, Wiklax was able to jump a guillotine in the last 10 seconds and get the Hail Mary finish. I think Wiklax will be a very tough matchup for a lot of bantamweights, as he literally can't take him down, or he will submit you, while also having a pretty tricky striking game. So honestly, I mean, Wiklax, he's a little goofy, and you might question if he's all that good with his cardio and stuff, but I think he's going to end up kind of being like RDR and just plot armoring his way through some of the division. So I'd say look out for Jakob Wiklax. Alright, next up at the lightweight division, I got a sleeper here. Oh no, it's not featherweight, Jose Delgado. So the thumbnail of this video. I'm very high on this guy, by the way, so might be a little bit of glaze. That's all I'm gonna say. So Delgado's a 27-year-old prospect who's 2-1 in the UFC with wins over Connor Matthews and Hyder Emil. And in both the Connor Matthews and Hyder Emil fight, showed insane finish ability, getting very quick KOs in both. Just against the Connor Matthews fight, just showing a nasty right hand, sparking him, and then against Hyder Emil, landing a nasty knee up the middle. Again, in like less than a minute, against someone in Hyder Emil who was undefeated up to that point and looked to be very good. And then in his loss against Nathaniel Wood, he did very well and arguably should have won as he dropped Wood in the first round and showed decent cardio in the second and third round, which against a guy who should be ranked is very impressive. Overall, Delgado is definitely someone to look out for with his KO power and well-rounded skill set. I think Delgado will have a very strong uprising in the featherweight division. Like, I think in that Nathaniel Wood fight, it really wasn't a loss. I thought he got robbed, honestly, and he did really well against someone Nathaniel Wood who should be ranked right now. So I don't know. I'd say watch out for Jose Delgado. Very powerful, very good fighter, very well-rounded. So watch out for him. Next up on my list, I got Tom Nolan at lightweight. So Tom Nolan's a 25-year-old prospect who, since losing his debut, has won 4 straight. In those fights, he's shown many skills, being a 6'2" rangy kickboxer with a lot of weapons, using his elbows and knees. And he's picked up some decent wins over guys like Charlie Campbell and Borshev. He's also shown he has cardio while also having insane finish ability, getting 2 finishes, I believe, and 2 KO and 2 decisions. So has looked very good, especially in his last fight against Charlie Campbell, where he showed the willingness to overcome some adversity as he got dropped by Charlie Campbell, who's a very solid fighter off Contender Series, before coming back and getting the finish by submission. Overall, definitely look out for Tom Nolan, as he seems to be a very solid striker, and at 155, I think his range will prove a lot of problems for people. And I think these Australian guys are just all pretty good, honestly. So I'd say watch out for Tom Nolan. Alright, next up we got the welterweight division. We got Yolo Alvarez. So he's a former lightweight who's recently moved up to welterweight in the UFC. He's gone 8-2 with a near 100% finish rate and is on a 4-fight win streak. At 6'3", he uses his range very effectively and has nasty Muay Thai with the knees and elbows. And he's not just some one-dimensional striker either, as he has an insane submission game, with 17 of his 23 wins coming by submission, so he can lock up a guillotine or just even in his own offensive grappling get a submission. He's also coming off a very dominant performance over Vicente Luque, where he just destroyed him in every aspect of MMA from striking to grappling. And even though Vicente Luque is a little washed by this point, I mean, destroying a guy who was just ranked a few months before that is not bad at all. And at 170, I think Alvarez will be a problem, as he doesn't really have any weaknesses except for defensive wrestling, which is why he lost to Arman Sarukian fight, but his BJJ covers for that, so at the very least, I think he can become top 10 in his new weight class. Only thing I worry about with Yoel Alvarez is really just activity, but I think if he fights more, then I think he'll be pretty easily top 10 in the welterweight division. Next up, we got middleweight, Ikram Aliskerov. So Ikram Aliskerov is a Dagestani fighter who trains with Khabib and is 4-1 in the UFC with three first-round finishes, and his only loss being to Robert Whittaker by KO on short notice. Ikram's shown a lot of skills, as in his first 3 UFC fights, he got first-round TKOs, which is pretty nasty, and was just slamming people out. And then his most recent fight against Jun Yun Park, the Iron Turtle, who's a very good offensive grappler himself. Ikram still showed he has the grappling if he needs it, putting on a very dominant performance in the wrestling, and just showing Park levels. Overall, don't let the Whittaker loss fool you. Ikram is very good and someone to look out for with his well-roundedness. Like Ikram, no one really talks about him, but he is pretty good. He's a Dagestani fighter with insane KO power, ground game. Only thing I'd worry about is his chin, but other than that, I think he's pretty solid. Alright, and then for light heavyweight, oh, yeah, we have no one for light heavyweight. This division is just complete garbage. I mean, what do you want me to say? Dude, Johnny Walker's an underrated prospect, bro. Dude, Zhang Mingyang, he only lost to Johnny Walker, bro. He's not that bad. Julius Walker, dude, he just got slimed by Dustin Jacoby, but there's potential there. Like, I'm sorry, I can't name a soul for light heavyweight. If y'all can in the comments, please do that for me. Because I don't know any prospects in this division. Like, this division's buns. So anyways, let's move on to heavyweight, where there's one guy that I do find to be pretty good, actually. Heavyweight, I got Mario Pinto. So Mario Pinto is actually pretty good, pretty athletic for heavyweight. Mario Pinto so far 2-0 in the UFC with 2 KO wins. In his debut against Austin Lane, who was not good by any means, Pinto did show toughness, surviving getting dropped and getting a vicious KO in the second round. And I wasn't too impressed by that. I was like, you're getting dropped by Austin Lane or I'm off the hype train. But he redeemed me. He redeemed himself. In his last fight against Jonathan Deniz, where he really impressed me, honestly, as he showed insane grappling, taking down Deniz with ease and just beating him to a pulp of ground and pound until the fight was stopped. Like, the way he was, switching transitions, going in a full mount, attempting submissions, like, he low-key looked like prime Charles All, or not prime Charles All, he looked like prime Khabib at heavyweight there. Overall, I think Pinto will be at the very least be top 5 at heavyweight, as his well-roundedness, just, there aren't many, like, well-rounded fighters. Like, you're telling me this guy can't beat Curtis Blades? Tell me this guy can't beat, like, Rizvan Kuniev? Like, I think Pinto's pretty good, actually, so I'd watch out for Pinto. So anyways, that's my video today. Kind of short. Just wanted to get some thoughts off my mind. Tell y'all about some underrated prospects to watch out. If any of these guys become champion, please come back to my video and tell me that. Blaze me for it. So anyways, I'll see y'all on Thursday. I'll drop my full card predictions for the absolutely atrocious card drop in this weekend. So anyways, peace y'all.